Akashwani presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Anuja Kumar. The headlines. Government will ensure not a single drop of water from Indus River reaches Pakistan, asserts Jal Shakti Minister C.R. Patil. DRDO achieves significant milestone in hypersonic technology by conducting successful ground testing of scramjet engine for over 1,000 seconds. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to distribute over 51,000 appointment letters to new recruits in various government departments during Rozgar Mela this morning. Pope Francis to be laid to rest in Rome today. President Murmu and several other world leaders to attend the funeral in Vatican City. Trump administration to restore legal status of hundreds of foreign students in United States. And in IPL T20 cricket, Sunrisers Hyderabad beat hosts Chennai Super Kings by 5 wickets. And now the news in detail. Union Jal Shakti Minister C.R. Patil has emphasized the importance of suspending the Indus Waters Treaty of 1960 with Pakistan. He asserted that the government will ensure not even a single drop of water from the Indus River reaches Pakistan. Mr. Patil was speaking to media yesterday after attending a high-level meeting chaired by Union Home Minister Amit Shah in New Delhi to discuss the future course of action following suspension of Indus Waters Treaty by the government in the wake of Pahalgam terror attack.
अभी उनके साथ कोई भी संधि आज तक हुई होगी और सभी संधि को रद्द कर देना चाहिए। ऐसा मुझे लगता है सरकार ने जो अभी जल संधि को रद्द कर दी है एक अच्छा डिसीजन लिया है।
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar and senior government officials also attended the meeting. A day after India revoked visas issued to Pakistani nationals in the wake of Pahalgam terror attack, Union Home Minister Amit Shah spoke to all chief ministers asking them to identify all Pakistani nationals in their states. Mr. Shah asked the chief ministers to take steps to ensure their prompt return to Pakistan. In Telangana, Director General of Police Dr. Jitendra has issued an advisory notifying the central government orders about immediate suspension of visa services to Pakistani nationals. As per the statement, all existing valid visas issued by India to Pakistani citizens will stand revoked with effect from tomorrow. A total of about 230 Pakistani nationals in the state hold Indian visas. A total of 191 Pakistani nationals visiting India returned home through the Atari-Wagah land route in Punjab's Amritsar yesterday. It comes after the centre set a 48-hour deadline for them to leave the country in the wake of the Pahalgam terror attack. Earlier, 28 were returned to Pakistan on the 24th of this month. Meanwhile, a total of 287 Indian nationals who were visiting the neighbouring country have also returned. The Indian Army effectively responded to the firing by Pakistani military along the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir last night. Defence sources said unprovoked small firing was carried out by various Pakistan Army posts all across the line of control in Kashmir, and the Indian troops responded appropriately with small arms. There were no reports of any casualties. The UN Security Council has strongly condemned the terror attack in Jammu and Kashmir's Pahalgam. In a statement, Council members emphasized that terrorism is a major threat to global peace and must be fought in all its forms. The Council called for the perpetrators, supporters and sponsors of the attack to be brought to justice, urging all countries to cooperate under international law. UN spokesperson Stefan Dujarric said the organization is closely monitoring the situation and urged both India and Pakistan to show restraint and avoid further escalation. U.S. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard has said America stands with India as it hunts down those responsible for the heinous Pahalgam terror attack. In a social media post yesterday, Ms. Gabbard said the United States stand in solidarity with India in the wake of the horrific terrorist attack which claimed lives of 26 people in Pahalgam. She assured Prime Minister Modi of America's full support as India seeks to bring those responsible to justice. In Punjab, the Border Security Force BSF, in another successful anti-terror operation, recovered massive cache of arms, ammunition and explosives in Amritsar last evening. The materials recovered include about 5 kilograms of deadly RDX with improvised explosive device circuits, 5 hand grenades with detonators, 220 live cartridges and 4 pistols with magazines. The ammunition concealed in 2 large packets was uncovered from an agricultural field. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will distribute over 51,000 appointment letters to newly appointed youth in various government departments and organizations through video conferencing today. Mr. Modi will also address the gathering on the occasion. We have a report.
In line with Prime Minister's commitment to accord highest priority to employment generation, the 15th Rozgar Mela will be held at 47 locations across the country today. It will provide meaningful opportunities to the youth for their empowerment and effectively contributing to the national development. The new recruits will be joining the central government in various ministries and departments, including Department of Revenue, Ministry of Personnel and Public Grievances and Pensions, Ministry of Home Affairs, Department of Posts, Department of Higher Education, Ministry of Railways, Ministry of Labour and Employment, among others. Anupam Mishra, Akashwani News, Delhi.
The Defence Research and Development Organisation DRDO has achieved a significant milestone in scramjet engine development by conducting active-cooled scramjet subscale combustor ground testing for over 1,000 seconds. The Defence Research and Development Laboratory, which is a Hyderabad-based laboratory of DRDO, yesterday conducted the ground testing at the newly built state-of-the-art Scramjet Connect test facility. The ground test is in continuation of the earlier test reported for 120 seconds in January. With the successful test, the system will be soon ready for full-scale flight-worthy combustor testing. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has complimented DRDO, industry partners and academia for the remarkable achievement. In Madhya Pradesh, 4 female Naxalites were killed in an encounter with security forces in the Soupkhar forest range of Kanha National Park in Balaghat district in the wee hours today. These members of the Naxal group were carrying a reward of 62 lakh rupees. Talking to media, Balaghat Superintendent of Police Nagendra Kumar Singh said the operation was part of an ongoing anti-Naxal campaign in the region.
कान्हा नेशनल पार्क के सूपखार वन रेंज में रौंदा फॉरेस्ट कैंप के पास 4 महिला नक्सलियों को हमारे जवानों ने ढेर करने में सफलता हासिल करी है। इन पे कुल इनाम 62 लाख का था। आप लोगों के माध्यम से हमारी ये अपील भी है कि यदि कोई नक्सली सरेंडर करना चाहता है तो वो सरकार का साथ दे। जो मिशन 26 पुलिस फोर्सेस को दिया गया है उस पे बालाघाट पुलिस भी खरा उतरने का पूरा प्रयास कर रही है।
This is Akashwani giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our X handle at AIR News Alerts. And for details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in and download the News on AIR app. Pope Francis, the head of the worldwide Roman Catholic Church, will be laid to rest at the Basilica of St. Mary Major in Rome today. The funeral mass will begin at 1:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time in St. Peter's Square in Vatican City. The service will be led by Cardinal Giovanni Battista Re, Dean of the College of Cardinals. Tens of thousands of mourners, including heads of states and representatives from across the world, are expected to attend the funeral mass of the late pontiff. President DRDO Murmu will offer condolences on behalf of the government and people of India.
President Murmu reached Rome in Italy yesterday and paid homage to the Pope Francis by laying a wreath at Basilica of St. Peter in Vatican City. The funeral ceremony will conclude with the transfer of the coffin to St. Mary Major in Rome, where the burial will take place. This will be the first papal burial outside the Vatican in more than a century, as the only pope to be buried outside the Vatican in 1903 was Pope Leo XIII. Pope Francis, the first Latin American pope to lead the Roman Catholic Church and sovereign of the Vatican City state, passed away on 21st of April at the age of 88. The Argentine pontiff died from a stroke less than a month after returning home from 5 weeks in hospital battling double pneumonia. Manik Sharma, News Desk.
India is observing state mourning today as a mark of respect on the funeral of the Supreme Pontiff of the Holy See. The Trump administration has said it is restoring the previously terminated the legal status of hundreds of foreign students in the United States while it develops a policy that will provide a framework for potentially ending them in the future. The decision was announced during a court hearing before a federal judge in Boston, who was presiding over a challenge by one of many international students across the country suing over actions the administration took against them as part of the Republican President Donald Trump's hardline crackdown on immigration. Their legal statuses had been revoked as a result of their records being terminated from a database of the approximately 1.1 million foreign student visa holders, putting them at risk of deportation. US President Donald Trump has said that Russia and Ukraine are very close to a deal on ending conflict between the two countries. President Trump's remarks came following a meeting between his envoy, Steve Witkoff, and Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow. Ukraine was not part of the talks. Speaking in Rome, the US President stated that most of the key points for a potential deal had already been agreed upon.
They both want peace, but they have to get to the table. We're waiting a long time. I think we're going to get peace. We want to save about 5,000 young people a week that are dying in that ridiculous war. And I started out because I didn't like all the money that we were paying, and then I realized how many people were dying, and that's by far the more important element right now. I don't like that it takes long at all, but I think they both want to make peace. I do believe so. There's a lot of hatred there. There's a lot of very bad blood, a lot of distrust, but I think we're going to get there.
Meanwhile, the Kremlin described the 3-hour meeting between Mr. Witkoff and President Putin as constructive, saying it helped bring the US and Russian positions closer. The Baloch Liberation Army has claimed responsibility for an attack that killed 10 Pakistani paramilitary personnel after their vehicle was struck by a remote-controlled IED in western Pakistan's restive Balochistan province yesterday. According to news agencies, the security vehicle hit a roadside improvised explosive device near Marghat Chowki, approximately 30 kilometers from Quetta. The Baloch Liberation Army stated that its operations against the occupying Pakistan Army will continue with intensity. Akashwani won a total of 6 awards in various categories at the India Audio Summit and Awards 2025. The third edition of the awards, which recognize excellence in radio and audio content production, was held in Mumbai last night. Among the top accolades for Akashwani, former Union Minister Smriti Irani's program Nai Soch Nai Kahani, A Radio Journey with Smriti Irani, was named the Series of the Year on Radio. Director General of Akashwani, Dr. Pragya Paliwal Gaur, graced the event as the guest of honor. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will share his thoughts with the people of the country and abroad in the Man Ki Baat program on Akashwani tomorrow at 11 a.m. It will be the 121st episode of the monthly radio program. The program will be broadcast across the entire Akashwani and Doordarshan network, the AIR News website and the News on AIR mobile app. It will also be live streamed on the YouTube channels of AIR News, DD News, the PMO and the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. And now for a look at today's newspapers, it's over to Anita Anand.
Thank you, Anuja. In the aftermath of the horrific killing of tourists in Pahalgam, India working on plans to halt flow of water to Pakistan, reports Hindustan Times. The Tribune writes, business, conference, visitor, pilgrim, among 14 category of visas revoked to ensuring Pak nationals exit. Defence Minister of Pakistan admits his nation has backed and funded terror groups as a mistake of doing dirty works for West. Is a top headline in the Asian Age. The Economic Times headline says, media closes the border to Pak, cricket, entertainment. The Indian Express cites a report saying, moving away from China, Apple plans to sell only India-made iPhones in the US. And finally, honoring the sacrifices made by our valiant soldiers, India's martyrs to be immortalized in Delhi's metro stations, notes the Pioneer. And with that, it's back to you, Anuja.
Thank you, Anita. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Government will ensure not a single drop of water from Indus River reaches Pakistan, asserts Jal Shakti Minister C.R. Patil. DRDO achieved significant milestone in hypersonic technology by conducting successful ground testing of scramjet engine for over 1,000 seconds. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to distribute over 51,000 appointment letters to new recruits in various government departments during Rozgar Mela this morning. Pope Francis to be laid to rest in Rome today. President Draupadi Murmu and several other world leaders to attend the funeral in Vatican City. Trump administration to restore legal status of hundreds of foreign students in United States. And in IPL T20 cricket, Sunrisers Hyderabad beat hosts Chennai Super Kings by 5 wickets. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a